For those in Facebook world, good morning. Thank you for being on here this morning. We are going to get ourselves started. My name is Brock Zevan. I'm a life coach, business coach, real estate coach, a dad. Name it. Sometimes I feel like I'm multitasking all the time with many different titles, but just very blessed and fortunate. Had our prayer call this morning at 7:30. I am down here in North Myrtle Beach. As I put on my post today, I have a vacation that I'll need a vacation from when I get done. And I say that in a very loving way. Me, my 3-year-old son, Bryce, and my 9-year-old daughter, Brielle, we are down here, decided to come down here for the week. So we're very fortunate to be able to be here and to enjoy this time together. We do this every Monday through Friday, 8:15 to 8:45. We do mindset and motivation, and we get into talking a little bit about different things that have taken place, either in my personal life, what I've heard and what I've listened to, and I share it with you guys. And then we get into dealing with a little bit of some business, some real estate, some role play, whatever it might be in the business world that we have. Facebook people, please feel free to share your comments. Good mornings, how are you? As well as being able to put down any type of questions you guys might have. In Zoom world, you are able to talk, so feel free. When the time comes, we'll open up the microphones and the mute so you guys can have conversations to be able to ask me anything that you got. So sorry, I had a text message. So with that being said, let's dive into our motivation this morning. This one was a good one this morning. We talked a little bit about on the prayer call about dealing with storms. And I'll share with you some of the other quotes that came along with this that I thought about. So the quote is this: there are some things you learn best in calm and some in storm. How nice would it be if we could learn all from life's lessons in calm? However, many times during calm, we are not receptive students. Things are going smoothly, and we become comfortable or content in that smoothness. When our lives are shuffled up, though, our emotions are uncomfortable for us, or we have a gnawing ache inside, kind of in our gut. Then we become open to the question of why. We become open to life lessons. Sometimes I call this victimhood. When I reflect upon my own life, I notice that when I felt things are falling apart, I actually often feel that life is nudging me in a new direction. The discomfort and storm only stay for as long as as I resist the lesson. Now, today, reflect on the times you have realized the most change in your life. Were they during calm or were they during the storm? If you are factoring, or if you are facing physical, emotional, or spiritual storm right now, what lessons might you be waiting for? Guys, I can't make this stuff up. I literally was just doing this with the prayer call this morning. But more importantly, I was writing this stuff down I was sitting here behind me, there's the balcony. And I wrote down these things because I was trying to figure out some of the challenges that I have in my life. And I wrote down these 2 quotes. One of them says, a skillful sailor, a calm sea does not make a skillful sailor. And then the other thing I asked was, lately I've been praying to God, asking him for strength. And then I kind of had this moment because inside my brain, I talked to God, and I just remember him saying to me, he goes, Brock, you just asked for strength. So I have to put challenges in your life to make you stronger. I can't make your life easy, because if I did, then I'm not answering your prayers. And so when I listen to that, and when I learn about and I discuss the whole skillful sailor, there's a reason why many people don't grow, is because when things start to get really hot in the kitchen, when things start to get challenging, we revert back into our cocoon and we don't like it. I'm going to share with you this. That's the moment you have. That is the opportunity that is literally right in front of you to be able to grow. It is the way it has to be. I wish it was easier. I promise you, I wish I could say, here it is on a silver plate. Here it is, my paper plate. I wish I could say to you that it is going to be easier for you if you just take the easy path. It doesn't work that way. I just, unless you win the lottery, but even still, the people who win the lottery, I think they say 85% of them are broke again because the root of their spending is still there and existing. They didn't retrain themselves how to budget money. That's the reason why most people are financially broke, is because we don't learn how to spend money and save money. That was my biggest financial problem that I had to learn when I read Jim Rohn's Financial Principles. But back to the root, when Les Brown says this, when life is blissful, when your relationships are great, when everything is smooth and your kids came home with the A's on their report card and the gas tank is filled and the cars are washed and your house is clean and you and your significant other just had a beautiful date night and everything is smooth, the lawn is cut, like that's not when you're building character. That is not when you're building strength. That is not when, like, life is easy then. Anybody can handle that. It's when your bills aren't paid. It's when your relationships are rocky. You haven't talked to each other. Your kid just got in trouble at school. We have no money. The gas tank's on E. What are we going to do? That's when you find out, am I building right now? Am I handling myself in the storm? Like, what am I growing through? Because no matter what, you will go through it. But you have to grow through these moments when the tide is high, when the storms are rough. All these things take place. And it's in those very, very moments when you can kind of look back and say, wow, damn, I did it. That's why when people ask me certain things like, Brock, how do you handle this? I'm like, listen, man, you have no idea what I went through back then when I was drinking and I was falling apart. I was on the ground. I didn't have a pot to piss in, a window to throw it out, cars repossessed, IRS. Like, this is nothing. But I had to go through that. And then I learned to grow through it. And so when it says to here, what opportunities do you have? What lessons might be waiting for you? I'm going to say it again. What lessons might be waiting for you? Because many times we ask the wrong question. We ask, why is this happening to me? Instead of what lessons might be waiting for me. So I hope you're able to take that to heart and get yourself in the right mindset during these type of conversations, because it's so, so very important to be able to understand that. So, all right, guys. With that being said, I'm now going to open up the lines here. So we have quite a few people on Facebook as well as on Zoom here this morning. So on Tuesdays, I like to open it up to some of our veterans, maybe some of our team leaders, to anybody who's running an organization. One of the questions I had, somebody asked me, they're like, Brock, is this just real estate related? No, business coaching, life coaching, it's all related. There's so many different facets to this that it just doesn't have to be real estate. It's primarily generated from real estate. But whatever questions that you have that might come from somebody that's like, hey, what do I do in this situation? What took place in there? In a leadership role for whatever it might be. If you're on Zoom, though, you have to be able to unmute yourself. So just double check on your left-hand side. There's the mute buttons there. And for Facebook world, just put it in the chat if you have a question that you have for me. So does anybody have something they would like to share or ask me? Because I'm going to open up the lines here and go ahead while I take my sip of coffee. Nobody has anything at all. Their businesses are going really smooth. They got no problems. Their bills are paid. They've actually have more business than they know what to deal with. Facebook world, everybody's good. No issues. Relationships are smooth. I need to get in your lives. Well, I got more chaos than I even know what to deal with right now. I got many different things going. Anybody got anything at all?
Hi, how are you?
Good. Good morning. It's Claudia.
Yes.
Good
I'm still in the
again.
gym, but I'm just finally finished. So I have the chance to speak a little bit. I was out of breath, sorry.
No, you're good. That's good to be getting the workout in. What do you got for us, Claudia?
Well, actually, I mean, I was talking in the earliest call that I'm so happy that my mom got out of the hospital. She doesn't need to go a different facility. But it's an another situation that we have to take care for a long time, for longer time, probably for the rest of her life, and hopefully she can get up to the 100 years with us. But I mean, business is challenging right now. We're trying to structure the family as well. We structure the family, doing a lot of stuff at the same time, and sometimes it seems like I mentioned it before, that we're going all over the different paths. But definitely, I mean, we're putting God in the middle, not in the middle, up front of us actually, and we are seeing better things coming up. So, but doesn't mean that things are easy. There's some better days than others. There's days that I don't want to get up and what is going to come through this day, but I think it's worth it. And yeah, definitely when we are weak physically or probably mentally, I mean, we can be stronger in God's name. So that's why I'm trying to keep up and start with a new routine. And I know that things are going to be harder. But definitely, I mean, I'm seeing a lot of life. So coming up, happy.
Yes. Well, Claudia, if you don't mind, you and and I will only share certain parts of our conversation, needless to say. But when you came to me and you asked me some of the questions of, you're like, I like routine. And then I'd say to you, what time you wake up every morning? And it was kind of like, well, I'm trying to figure this out and do this. And so I share this with everybody on this call. Because you sound so different than you did to me last week. And it's so very important that you all understand this, guys. The moment you decide to change the how and replace it to why is the moment that things start to shift in your life. And then you attach it to organization and you attach it to routine. Your body starts to adapt to it in a much different way because the expectations, your body knows what to do. And here's how I know this works. Because when we are very young, and for those that have kids, we put our kids in a routine. You get up, you eat, you get dressed, you brush your teeth, you comb your hair, you grab your book bag, you grab your lunch, you go to the bus, you get into the school, you go to the first bell, you go to second period, you go to lunch, you do it's a routine throughout our entire day. And our kids are perfectly fine with it. For whatever reason, as an adult, we decide that we think no, you don't understand, Brock. I can control my day. No, you can't. Okay, I'm just telling you that. Like, nobody can control their day because there's too many distractions, and it's called life gets in the way. But the more that you have structure, the more that you have a foundation, the easier your day becomes. And then you have an energy like Claudia does when she's telling you, I'm just getting out of the gym because this is her routine. And she didn't have an excuse saying, well, I can't go on the calls today because I'm at the gym, or I can't go on the gym because I have the calls. No, you can do both. And you put it in your schedule. Pamela, that's on here, is on her team. She sends me her schedule every single morning between 5 a.m. and 5:15 in the morning. And she has it written down with her IMs in her schedule. It's a routine. So when the storm hits, when chaos takes place, it's like, I just have to grind through the day. This is what I have to do. I have to put my head down because eventually it will pass. I'm pretty sure if I looked out here, yesterday morning, we had a thunderstorm. An hour and a half later, guess what? The storm was gone. It didn't last all day. A hurricane does not stay over the United States or any place for a year. It stays there just for a couple of days and then it passes, just like everything in our life does. But you have to have structure so when the storm hits, we know what we need to do. Mike used to do a lot of events and create a lot of different things in his life. And he used to tell me, I had a plan for everything. He does a lot of stuff with the Red Cross and dealing with, I forgot what it is, but like he deals with stuff that when there's a catastrophe, he's in the catastrophe relief, and he has a process. Because when you're in catastrophic conditions, you go back to what works, which is the foundation and a process. And it's not any different than in the real world. And it's not any different in life. So Claudia, I appreciate you sharing that because I think it's important that we might not have talked about real estate. We might not have talked about role play, but one of the things I've learned when I was in a terrible place. I didn't have a job. I lost my real estate license. I was in financial debt. I was told I had to leave my real estate office. I had no clue what I was going to do financially. And 2 months later, one of the owners of the company says, Brock, what are you doing? I said, what do you mean? He goes, you keep showing up and you don't have a license. I don't know what else to do except show up. So I'm just going to continue to show up and I'm going to pretend I have a real estate license, except sell real estate. But that's all I'm going to do. And I just showed up every freaking day, no matter what took place. And that's what I did. And I did it for about 17 months. And let me just tell you, month 3 and month 9 weren't very fun because I got tired and things start coming inside your brain. So I share this with you that you have to just show up, get a plan, get around somebody who forces you into this plan so you become better. When the bad things take place, it's not a problem. It's like, okay, I got this. I just have to do this today. And if I go through this, I'm going to be okay. So Claudia, thank you so much for that. I appreciate you sharing. And for those that got something from it, please put it in the comments. I always like to hear what people think. I just think because a lot of this stuff is recorded and then you listen to it later. And so some of us may not be in listening to it now, but if you do, like it helps me because sometimes I'm like, what the hell am I saying? And most of the time I hope it makes sense. But so thank you, Claudia, for being on here this morning and for sharing on here. So all right, guys, what I'm going to do here in Facebook world, thank you so much for being on here. We're going to stay on Zoom. For those on Zoom, you can listen into our team meeting. Just click on the website if you are on our Facebook group page. Excuse me, feel free to join it. My kids are here, but look I just like when you set expectations, let me just tell you, it's a different world than it was yesterday. So anyways, Facebook world, thank you so much. Click us over onto the Zoom, sign up for our Brock Zevan's Mindset Motivation Call. All you do, anybody can listen to it. Zoom people, we will begin. Facebook, we'll talk to you tomorrow, 8:15. See you guys.